From the restart of the 2020 season onwards, much of the conversation in the paddock was dominated by three solitary letters: S, C and X. A tyre introduced in 2019 which has, in time, become somewhat of the joker card of SBK. Sometimes for the better.
Michael Ruben Rinaldi wins in Aragon!
Sometimes for the worse.
Using that SCX Tyre clearly wasn't the right gamble to make today, because we've seen his pace just fall off and we've seen his grip fall right off.
But how does a tyre designed to hold up for a maximum of 10 laps become such a decisive factor for a 20+ lap race?
I asked our engineers to prepare a tyre that was something in the middle between the one-lap qualify and the softest race tyres we got. We work in order to give more life to these tyres, in order to be able to make the short race. As soon as we reach this result, someone decided to use for sometimes in a long race as well. And someone was successful with this.
It's funny because nobody speak about to use for the long races, and after I use in Aragon round for the long races, everybody understand that maybe can be an option. It's nice because I was the first one to use in the long race.
For the last season, we were in agreement together with the Federation and with Dorna that on Friday night we could say if the tyre was usable for a long race or not, because it was our common interest. Don't see the tyres after 10 laps degrade too much. But in this season we saw that this was not happening often, and so this might be an option for the riders to make the difference.
Motorland was the best example of how useful this tyre could be.
In Teruel we do a long free practice, try to understand if the tyre could do the long race, and it worked really good, so I win my first race with the tyre.
Every rider in the Teruel round used the SCX in either race 1 or race 2. Every rider bar one. Why?
I cannot use, but I cannot use because with the SC0 I'm trying to get the best from SC0 during 20 laps. With SCX, if I want to use for 20 laps, I have to change quite drastically the balance of the bike because the load of the tire must be different. Of course, we could try to focalize and to work with this tire, but our target with Johnny is to win the championship. Then sometimes, depends the position you are, you cannot take a risk. I mean, for us, if we cannot win, okay, we finish second, we finish third, but most important is linearity.
As it is for many riders, it all comes down to size. Heavier riders have been less likely to fit the SCX on than the likes of Rinaldi or Bautista, wary of how it would hold up in the final laps.
The tyre gives you more grip, so if you have more grip you can go faster, but if you don't drop.
It's a good tyre to have for the Super Pole race because we can literally go all out, full gas for 10 laps. Smaller, lighter riders are able to use the SCX for the full race distance of around 20 laps. And a bigger rider cannot use that tyre, so they have an advantage. There's no combined rider and bike weight limit here in WorldSBK, which I think would be important to add in the future.
This is a matter of they have to solve in a pit with the bike. From a tyres point of view, we cannot make reinforced tyres for every rider. So, sure, using the range, they have to take care about this.
But as teams improve their understanding of the tyre, expect the conundrum to continue into next year.
It's a matter of choice of the riders. We have to give them possibilities to express themselves. It's time to let these tyres become the new super soft tyres for the race.